We are attuning at this time to the white galactic horse appearing in front of all of you. Taking a moment to close your eyes and attune to its frequency, you may feel the strength and presence of the horse itself as it is galloping at a rapid pace toward you, stopping short right in front of you as its head is hitting yours and your third eye is being activated by its frequencies, opening up your heart center, looking at the galactic white horse and noticing those who are riding upon it. These are the shining ones coming and spiraling through distant galaxies and worlds and realms unknown through star systems to land where it is that you are now. As you take a moment to attune to this vibration, and as they shall be arriving, you may too enter and place yourself upon this horse known as the Pegasus or unicorn, flying through many systems, going into the spaciousness of nothingness, the emptiness of all that is. All right, everybody. Hi and welcome. My name is Kelly Kolodny, and today I am in New Mexico. And it has been a magical journey. Lots and lots going on that I want to share with all of you. But before I start to do that, I want to wish everyone a happy Mother's Day. And I want us to just like take in a really nice deep breath. And a nice, beautiful exhale. And maybe put our hands on our heart because all of us have a mother. That is one thing that we all have. Every single person here has a mother. Whether they love their mother, or their mother drives them crazy, or their mother isn't around, and their mother has passed, or they're not talking to their mother, or your mother is your best friend, we all have a mother. And so let's just take a moment to, whether we have a mother, which we all do, or we are a mother, to honor the mothers. So I just want to tune in. I had the privilege of being at a place called Star Dreaming in New Mexico, and there's a space there for the 13 grandmothers. 13 grandmothers from all over the world had gathered in this beautiful place. These are the ancient, wise, indigenous grandmothers. And I just happened to open to this page literally a second before we got on the call. And I thought it was appropriate. It says the mother's hand is the first step of teaching, and then comes the teaching in school. And even from His Holiness, the main key speech is that the mother is the most important person in a child's life. The mother is the first teacher in the child's life because they need to teach the child love and compassion. And they teach them the real values of being a human being. So I want to honor all the mothers, all the sleepless nights, all the changing of diapers, all the holding of the sweetest little tiniest hands and the love that comes from that, the laughter, the joy, the jumping on the bed in the morning, the cuddles and the sweetness, the teenage years, the driving around to countless and endless activities, the meals that were made, the screaming, the laundry, the fighting, the loving, the joy, the blessings, the hurt, the tears, all of it. You know, as Kali says, we are to love all of us. And sometimes I think of my mother and it brings tears to my eyes. She was the sweetest. I was so lucky I had her. She lived to 88. Of course, 88, right? The most magical number of the mother source creation grid. That's what we're all about in our community, is the mother source. And I didn't think of that. And she was tender and kind and thoughtful. And she had a sense of humor. She stayed out of our business. She loved us unconditionally. And yeah, she did stuff that was annoying, like all mothers do. But I hope that we can kind of today honor the things that our mothers did that were wonderful, and kind of bring forgiveness into our hearts if there were things that weren't so wonderful, and forgive ourselves because I'm a mother. I have two incredibly beautiful, wonderful children, one you know pretty well here. And boy, I have many flaws, but I love them with they're everything to me. So happy Mother's Day to everyone and to the grandmothers and to all women around the planet. All right, so with that, today is also a full moon, so maybe that's why I'm a little teary-eyed. The energy is amplified and intense, and I'm here in New Mexico after finishing a retreat in Bucks County, New Hope, Pennsylvania, at a place called Honey Hollow Farm, which was just fantastic. We have a membership with a very select few people. And then we have our bigger membership, which is also select, beautiful, but we had our Ascended Masters gathered. There were only 22 of us, and it was really special because, we're always online, and it was so nice to kind of come together. And I hope to do more of that for our community, to gather all of you. And we built spirals, and we anchored energy, and we made rattles, and we broke bread, and we ate food together, and we had cacao ceremony, and we listened to sound bowls, and we walked the land barefoot, and we hugged and cried, and we're together. And that is what is really showing up right now. We've been talking about moving into the new earth, moving into 5D, and we talk about it up here in this etheric way, right? But how do we bring it and anchor it into our lives right now? Like, how do we experience 5D? And we have glimpses of it where we have these magical moments and we step into it, and then there's moments where we're really embraced again back in 3D in our everyday experience, but it's bleeding in and coming in more and more. And so we're being asked during this time to come together in community and to not just talk about building the new earth, entering the fifth dimension, but taking an active role as leaders in our communities to create it. And so, after being with 22 people and building a spiral and all of that, I flew out to New Mexico. And the first places that we stopped off is a place called Star Dreaming. And the reason I came here was to prepare energetically for the light code, which is the Galactic White Horse. And the Galactic White Horse is this energy, and I'm learning a lot about the stellar star nations and the star beings and how we're going to be attuning to them through this very powerful code that begins on June 2nd. And as I came here, I went to Star Dreaming and I met this man, and his name is James. And it's about 50 minutes or maybe 40 minutes outside of Santa Fe, on, of course, 22 acres after we left the 22 people, and it's filled with 22 temples. And these temples are literally on the land, and they are spirals, and they are beautiful. And I will be sharing all this information in detail in the code. But it was so fascinating to meet him because he had to surrender completely to spirit. Back in the late 80s, similar to me, he had a spiritual awakening, nothing he was trying to do or anything like that. He was a PhD. He had a sign for 3 books at a very prestigious publisher. He was moving to Marrakesh. He was an anthropologist. He was very left brain, and he happened to be in Sedona, and he happened to go to a medicine wheel, and he laid down, and spirit knocked him out, and all of these beings came in and started speaking to him. But the first one that came was Archangel Raphael. And Archangel Raphael came to me also at that time. So we have this synergy between us. And Archangel Raphael said, "You're not going to Marrakesh, and you're not going to publish these books, and you're not going to be an anthropologist. You're going to go and buy land in New Mexico, and you're going to build temples to the Ascended Masters to build the new earth." And he said, "You got to be kidding me. Of course, that's never happening." And so he trusted spirit, and I gotta give the guy a ton of credit. And he gave up everything that he had that would appear in life to be like picture perfect. And he came out here to New Mexico, and somebody rented him this land of 22 acres, and he just started going out to quarries and getting as much stone and crystal as he could fathom and build. And they would say, well, what are you doing with it? Like tons and tons and tons and tons of it. And he said, I don't know, but spirit told me to get it. And he would just dump it at different parts on this land. And he wasn't an artist, and then he started painting, and Merlin came, and Archangel Raphael came, and Ganesh came and talked to him, and he had all these visitors and beings, and it was so prolific, and he has so much energy, and he just started building. And it's one of the most extraordinary places I've ever been, and it's completely off the radar. People don't know about it. And I think it'll start to come online now because it was protected all of these years, like 30 years, in preparation for the new earth. And people will start to go now and connect with star dreaming and connect with the temples. So while I was there, and there were so many synchronicities and magics, he has this card deck, right? And I was opening it, and I looked, and he has on here, his first encounter was with the archangels, but Raphael was his major angel. And in the card deck, there's all kinds of things, stargates and star beings and galactic ones and inner earth beings, all this stuff that we're working with. But the only angel he has is Raphael. And look at the picture of it. Who does it look like? Does it look a little bit like me? And I was like, okay, you got to be kidding me. Like, and I heard about him about 20 years ago, and Raphael told me to come, and it just finally came, and we were just like connected. And he had this really strong connection with Debistry being an architect, and they talked for hours, and he has a lot to say. We're going back this afternoon. And the 13 grandmothers also from all over the world gathered there, and he has stones that are there that are, they're not as large as Stonehenge, but they're big. They're like Avery in different places around England. They're powerful. They're really special. And so I got to connect with that energy. So I'm hoping to do an interview with him this afternoon and see if we can sit down. I can send that with you and guys give you more information if you live in this area. Might be something you want to look into. He's like a one-man show. It's sort of like meeting, Van Gogh before people knew he was famous. His artwork is just mind-blowing. When you sit in front of it, it's all made of tiny little dots, and it's incredibly activating and powerful. I think here is a picture of Archangel Raphael. You really can't get a sense of it over Zoom because it vibrates. It has its own life. And so we had just finished the Weaving the Magic class with so many of you, and and that was also about starting for all of you to bring things into reality, into 5D. So I'm going to channel this morning. We're going to see who comes in. I'm out in the middle of nowhere. I happen to be on 58 acres in northern New Mexico with the stars and the full moon and the beings. And let's see what comes through. And of course, we will open it up to questions. But what is his name? Good question. His name is James Jereb, Jereb, PhD. He has many books. You can probably find him online. I'm hoping I can interview him this afternoon and start to bring more awareness to his work because it's very profound. It's the kind of thing that we'll see his work at the Guggenheim and the Whitney and the Met after he dies, and we won't believe like, oh my God, I can't believe this guy hadn't been known. It's incredible. His work's incredible. So I just wanted to share that. And I think that's all I have to say for now. Okay. So we're going to, in the Galactic White Horse Light Code, travel into the stars and go through these gateways, and being here on this land and being and star dreaming is a way to activate and open the stargates so that when you come to class and we begin to do that work, I've already activated it. And we will start that whole process of attuning to those beings. So I have a feeling they may come in this right now, and we'll see what happens. And then we'll open it up to Q&A. All right. Casey, do you have anything else for anybody this morning?
No, that's all. I'm excited to see what comes up.
Okay, fabulous. Hmm. Hmm. Hello.
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 Hello, hello. Oh, oh. We are very happy to be here on this sacred land in the Four Corners region of the United States as we are working as a collective at this time to anchor the energies around your North America continent and especially the United States as we are bringing a lot of frequencies of protection and balance. And the indigenous codes from many who have walked this land are very potent and powerful in this region. We have called Kelly here to align with the vibration of star dreaming as you are in preparation to attune to the shining ones as they are here today and very present as they will be accompanying all of you in the upcoming code with the Galactic Horse frequency and these vibrations. We are attuning to them now, for it is standing room only, although she is here in the desolate desert, in the spaciousness and emptiness of nothing. Many beings are here and present with great celebration and delight of the unification of the frequencies that are carried through and brought by me as Archangel Raphael into Kelly simultaneously, as I have been in deep contact with James for a very long time. For their energies are quite different, and the way in which I assimilate and work with them to bring forth the codes come forth in manifestation in different ways, and yet the vibration and frequencies and purpose of their work to hold the vision for a higher timeline are the same. Although I come, as you are well aware, as Archangel Raphael, I carry and encompass many beings, often thought of or attuned to as the crew, should we say. And my crew that is in alignment with Kelly and the crew that is attuned to James are interwoven together and are the same, although his energy is deeply embedded in relationship also to inner earth frequencies and the dragon vibration, one in which Kelly has not attuned to or calibrated to, for it has not been perhaps what you might say up her alley. But all other energies coming through are very much in alignment, although he is carrying more of the male aspect of the Merlin magical alchemical vibration versus the healing frequencies in the etheric and celestial realms. Today, the shining ones are here, for they are here in great numbers and would like to speak and communicate with all of you for a moment. We understand and recognize that from your perspective and where it is that you are in your current human experience, the mind can be quite active in the wondering and the questioning of many things. And we are delighted to support in bringing forth any information that can guide you and illuminate your path. But prior to doing that, we will attune now to these beings. Sometimes you think of them as the blue beings or the Syrian energies of the luminous ones. And although they are one galactic family, the shining ones encompass many of the stargates and places within the galactic core that have not been named nor can be known from the perspective of where it is that you are. And yet there is an opening occurring. A change is happening at this time in your atmosphere and through many star systems. that is shifting your relationship. As plasmic light descends upon your planet, there are openings that are occurring. And as these openings occur, the ways in which seeds of information can be brought back for you to attain and receive are coming in much stronger as the veil is quite thin. It is that we are calibrating now to the shining ones. They come riding on many horses, not just one. And although these may appear to unite all nations and come from all directions, especially that of the four directions in which you are accustomed to, we are attuning at this time to the white galactic horse appearing in front of all of you. Taking a moment to close your eyes and attune to its frequency, you may feel the strength and presence of the horse itself as it is galloping at a rapid pace toward you, stopping short right in front of you as its head is hitting yours and your third eye is being activated by its frequencies, opening up your heart center, looking at the galactic white horse and noticing those who are riding upon it. These are the shining ones coming and spiraling through distant galaxies and worlds and realms unknown through star systems to land where it is that you are now. As you take a moment to attune to this vibration, and as they shall be arriving, you may too enter and place yourself upon this horse known as the Pegasus or unicorn, flying through many systems, going into the spaciousness of nothingness, the emptiness of all that is. And as you travel along this energy and space, it reminds you of a frequency of unification, as it has come at this time to unite all people, all religions, all races, all tones, all frequencies, all seeds, all energies into one field of remembering the union of who you are, the space of the destiny of the origin of your cosmic self, the return in the remembering of your essence. And so the shining ones come now on the galactic white horse, carrying you into distant stars as the world in which you have known before collapses beneath you. It asks you to rise above, not to look beneath or to see behind you that in which is falling away, to open your heart and your vision into the future of that in which together you are weaving and dreaming and creating as one. For they have dreamt you into creation, and you are dreaming them into your reality as you together begin to dream in the stars, like star dreaming, worlds and realms that have been unknown. And as you pass through these spaces in which you have not traversed before, into realms that feel unknown and yet so familiar, you are welcomed home by the star ones. These are your brothers and sisters who have not been ones in which you could have touched or felt, for they felt or feel so distant, so far away, looking up into the night sky, finding and wishing that they were there, and yet their arms are open and the stargates are wide as you can pass through riding along the galactic white horse into places in which there is such deep remembering. And perhaps you will attune to the vibration of the Pleiadians, in which the seven sisters will appear, and you will feel embraced by their love, or the Syrian energies will come, and the luminous ones will pass by as you will attune to their frequencies, awakening these deep rememberings inside. And as you pass through all of these gateways, rising through more frequencies, adjusting and calibrating to these vibrations, the lyrans and the feline ones, and the beautiful eyes piercing through and looking at you as all galaxies and systems and universes can be seen through the iris of their energy as the light pierces out and opens your heart and third eye. They too embrace you and teach you of the ancient teachings and rememberings. And yet it is that they have come at this time not to bring you into the distant places that feel so far to reach, but to come home to where it is that you are and into union, in collaboration with the indigenous ones and the ones that dwell deep inside the earth. For many new discoverings and understandings will begin to occur as you will spiral through the staircase of the galactic arm into the inner earth, and the waters will, energies will rise and codes will come forth. And in this process, you will begin to remember and awaken and attune to those that are deep in the elemental realms that have appeared to be silent or still or static as the mountains and the trees and the clouds and the light and the water and the ancient ones that dwell inside become alive again. And so it is not only that those in your great stars and those inside the earth will come together in union as they collaborate through the indigenous codes and the galactic codes in a unified field within your heart center to open up a space for all of you to begin to create a map of the new earth, a vision of what it will be like, the communities, the places, the way in which you connect, interact, communicate telepathically, move and shape and shift from place from one to another within the energy and the love in your heart, in the integrity of who it is that you are, to hold the vision. For you have arrived at this time on this planet, and although it appears from your perspective at the outside of many things and great destruction, pain, sorrow, and dismay, it is that this is dissolving beneath you, and yet you witness it from a perspective in which you see it but are not within it, as you watch it, and yet you ride above it, holding and piercing the veil for a new vision and a creation for an earth that is already present and has been born, in which all of you are engaged in. And as we have spoken and shared with Kelly and are sharing with you, it is time to become the builders, the creators, the collaborators, the connectors, the community builders, the farmers, the healers, the lovers, all of these energies and frequencies unified as one together. And so we shall be taking you on deep, in-depth journeys and spaces and places in which you have not felt or dwelled before, as the shining ones come and work with you in your heart, creating a map that will be on the floor of your oceans, deep within the waters, inside the corners of places within your earth, and the maps that will be born anew, a new way of seeing the constellations, the zodiac signs, the map, the destiny of your creation. All of this is shifting at this moment as we speak, changing as if the dial is turning, and as it turns, it is opening up spaces into crystalline frequencies within the cells of your DNA and cities that dwell beneath and above, to open up space for you to experience one another and your earth and us in new forms. And so, with that, we attune to the galactic ones, the shining ones, the elemental beings, the fairies, and beings of light, all of the ascended masters, the gods and the goddesses, the great grandmothers, the magical alchemical ones, the ones that hold the vision of light and love, to open space for you to remember that you are the creator, the dreamer of your reality, and you are dreaming now into creation a new world. And so it is. And with that, we are here today as many beings are arriving. Perhaps others may come to speak to you in certain times in tongues and form to bring to you comfort at this time of great change, to relieve your feeling and sensation of worry and fear, and to let go of these heavier energies that are no longer needed, to leave them behind in the collapsing world and the dismantling of what has been, to hold the vision for anew. And so, what is it?
Wow, thank you so much. So beautiful. We're going to open up straight away to questions and we're going to start with Diana.
Thank you. Thank you. It was a beautiful presentation. And I just want to mention that I signed up for the new program coming up and immediately started to hear the sounds of Raphael. So I would encourage everyone who has not signed up. It begins already just by signing up. But my question for today is I'd like to have a better understanding of soul embodiment. I'm feeling with the changes in the energy, the consciousness rising. It just feels that more of this body right here, right now, is becoming so much more filled with the soul of who we are.
Oh. You are embodying and bringing in the fullness of self. And through the fullness of this energy that is arriving within all of you at this time, some will feel the presence, the feeling, the sensation, and the wholeness of who they are. And yet, for others, there will be a great change on a physiological level within their body, for much density will need to be released in order to embody and to hold all of the light in which is coming forth at such a rapid pace. We want to tell those who are perhaps on that spectrum in which they feel that it is difficult to assimilate or to integrate the fullness of themselves, to let go, to release judgment, and to love all of it. For parts will come and move and shift and feel and ache and change, for all density is dissolving in the moment, instantaneously, and yet in the mind it has felt for a long period that it must take eons or years or weeks or months for the density to resolve itself. But in the quickening of this moment, miraculous healings can occur, changes taking place, healings spontaneous as you are fully able to embody, welcome, love, and accept all of you. And in the acceptance of all of you, it may require a leap in faith, a letting go, a deep trusting in the parts of self that you have not heard from a long time, that you are not acquainted to or willing to listen to, that perhaps you have felt have guided you before on a wrong path, as your mind has assimilated in a way in which is in alignment with linear time. But as the linear time collapses and you open into the holographic field of the wholeness of self, you shall operate more from the heart. And as you operate again in the trueness of the heart, in the acceptance of that in which you hear without questioning, in the deep recescence of your inner knowing, you will embody more of you and you will leap and trust and fly and soar like the horse gaining its wings as the Pegasus soars and you ride upon it into the galactic core, into the remembering of who you are, and spiraling down into the depths of spaces unknown or discovered by your humanness that are coming now online. In this, the remembering of all lifetimes, whether they be from ancient Egypt or Lemuria, or they are coming in from Atlantis or Avalon, the magicians and the alchemists, the remembering and the knowing of the healing, the ability to move from one space to another, to enter into the frequencies of deep knowing, and remembering are coming online. And so the embodiment of the wholeness of your soul is here and accessible in this now moment, in the willingness to receive, to allow, to trust, to know that it is so.
Beautiful, beautiful question. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, Angel Raphael. Melinda.
Hello. It's
Hello.
wonderful to be here. I'm new to this community. I've already signed up for the White Horse, and I felt such profound changes since the very first time I sat with you. My question is, how can we as individuals who love the earth and want to support the ascension process work individually on, I don't know what word to use, strengthening, clearing, supporting the earth grids, the ascension grid?
The grid is essential at this time. You are forming a new grid around the planet. The place in which we have guided Kelly and Debishri to of star dreaming is one hub of many in which the grid system is fully awakened and activated. And yet it is all of you that matter, that are part of this system. We encourage you to walk your land wherever it may be, whether large or small, to walk it barefoot, to anchor it, to create a dome around it, and to begin to build upon it as you place your hand on the trees where you are, whether it is a property in which you know to be your own, which you own, in which we want to remind all of you that none of you own anything nor the earth, for it is for all of you and always has been. But if there is a space in which you know to be your own at this time, to attune to it deeply in the most sacred way, coming back into relationship with it, walking upon it, laying in the grass, looking up at the night sky and the stars and the billowing clouds and the sun raining and pouring and absorbing into your skin, and begin to gather stones or pine cones or sticks. Begin to attune to the land and allow it to speak to you. As James has brought the stones to his property, the stones told him one by one where to go, building stars and spirals and infinity symbols. Begin to feel and allow the stones, the sticks, the leaves, the energies, the feathers, whatever may appear, to show you, to begin to build a map. If this land is not accessible to many, find a park or a place nearby and begin to create magic in this space, leaving behind a crystal or a formation of shells on the beach, so that as others come by, it brings a twinkle and a smile to their face as the magic begins to appear all over your globe as you begin to create creations of the new earth in the tiniest and smallest ways as you begin. And as you do this, it is a signal. It's like a runway or a pathway as the spirals are built for us to land from the galactic spaces and places and the energies to come up from within the inner earth through the spiral. For these are codes and markings, you see, for often you look to us out in the distant realms to bring guidance and support and information, and yet we come to you to gain wisdom and teachings from and live inside of you as well. And so we know you to be an enlightened one, a visionary of the new earth, as you build these spaces, because we feel and sense them, whether we are arriving from distant stars and systems or from beneath the earth itself. We feel the presence, the energy of the sacredness in which you have created through your intention of the grids. And yes, there are grids all over your planet, multiple ones, the starseed ones from ancient times and sites that are coming online, the grids of the Mother Source creation grid, the Christ consciousness grid, and many thousands more built by other systems and beings of frequencies that are strengthening and anchoring the vibration around the planet. But as this is being done and formed, the inner earth energies are awakening now, and many discoveries beneath systems all around your globe will become online, and these energies will become active as stargates to pass through and awaken as communities are built. And so, from a place of the practical realm, in where it is that you are, we encourage all of you to begin to create your own stargate, your own space, wherever you are. It may be tucked inside a park where no one perhaps sees, and yet a child may go off for a moment, toddling around, and find the magic where you have left a crystal or a fairy or a ribbon in the tree or honored a sacred well, or it may be a big labyrinth or portal on your land. But when this art and creation is built across the globe, it begins to light up like a sparkling runway in which we can land with our ships and come from within the earth. And we can support you as we come and collaborate with you and work with you to build the new earth. And so Mother Earth feels this tickling, this love, as she feels the bareness of your feet upon her soil, and the sweetness of the sacredness and the chanting and the prayers and the love that you have for her in your heart. For today is the day to honor the great mother. And what is the greatest mother of earth than the one that has given you all bounties and all blessings of your great mother Gaia? And so bow to her, love her, return to the sacredness and the blessings of her frequency. For everything that you have ever needed nor ever will want resides and has always been given by her, through her, and to you as one energy. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you so much. All right, Natalie.
Hello, Raphael.
Hello.
Hi. My question is personal and collective. I hope that's okay.
What
I've
is
had an undiagnosed neurological condition for the last 10 years. It greatly affects me on many levels, and I'm trying to step out into the world and offer my gifts as a birth worker and healer. But I'm constantly challenged by the symptoms that I have. I know that we have enormous capacity to heal ourselves, but I feel that I'm making no progress, declining if anything. Raphael, for those of us on long-term healing journeys, please can you tell us what we are missing and give us all some hope, inspiration, and advice on how to fully heal? Thank you.
We want to congratulate you and honor you for your willingness to come and to hold this frequency at this time. This has not been an easy journey for you, and you have suffered deeply along this process. But we want to remind you that this suffering is not something that was done to you or by you, but that is part of an agreement in which you had signed, in which in moments you wish you had not. Many teachings have come from your process in your healing journey, and much has been shared by many around you who have received understandings and blessings along this pathway and inside the essence of your being as well. For prior to incarnating, you decided to hold the largest space of your energetic form outside of your human body, where you are working on a deep etherical level for the new earth. And so you are working in a realm that is not known in your conscious understanding, and yet in the essence of their being, there is a remembering and the knowing that this is true. A smaller percentage of you, not the wholeness of self, never fully entered into the body. And because of the work and service that you do on other realms around the globe and in other systems, you are not fully embodied in the physical form. Therefore, the emanation of the life force energy of Source is not fully encompassing your entire physical vehicle. And so it finds itself in a state of struggle. The depletion you you feel is as though parts of it is continuing to lift out of the physical vessel as it is returning home and entering into the wholeness of the space in which the majority of that in which you are doing working. Because of the spirit of who you are and the presence of your I am that I am presence and the vastness of that frequency and its capacity to create change and to do work for the planet, you have chosen to operate on this scale. You can choose through deliberate connection and collaboration with the I am that I am to shift that agreement and to fully anchor in the embodiment of your full self into the physical body in which the life force would enter and the healing of spontaneous change would take place, and you would feel the fullness of the human experience in a whole and healed state. And yet, we are not sure that on the fullness of your soul level, that is actually what you are wanting to do. But we want to give you assurance that you have access to that choice point if you choose. You are at a crossroads between these, but know the vastness and the eternalness of yourself and the feeling and sensation and the remembering of the larger aspect of your presence and the work in which you do, in which we are wanting to honor at this time.
Thank you so much. All right, Reina. Rena, are you there?
Hello, yes, I am. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I would like to know how to heal for myself and other people past hurts and aches throughout my whole life that I've, and I'm sure other people have tried to forgive and forget, and it things just keep surfacing over and over through the years. And I thought, is there a way to end um, past inflictions on myself or others?
It is that it is not to forgive and to forget, for it is the forgetting energy, the forgetting, the pushing down of it, the not honoring the infliction in the time that it surfaces or the pain that one feels, to put it somewhere else for another day that creates the amplification of its energy that will always continue to resurface until it is felt, seen, honored, accepted, loved, and known, for it will never fall away until you have embraced it, until you have faced it, until you have looked at it, until you have spoken with it, until you have known it, until you have integrated it into the wholeness of self. And so it is this saying of forgive and forget that we invite all of you to erase the vibration of forgetfulness, but to remember, not to delve deep into the nuances of the story itself, but to allow the vibration of its energy that remains present to be integrated, to be loved, to be accepted, and to be embraced fully in its wholeness, in the fullness of feeling. The feeling sensation is that of the emotion that is only felt and only experienced on your planet here on Earth, for we do not have these sensations as do you. And for many of you from other realms and places in which you have not fully experienced and embraced the human experience, it is hard to allow yourself to delve deep into the emotion of whatever may arise. But it is through that humanness of that connection with that emotion that it becomes whole within your field and no longer needs to surface. So we encourage you to drop the story, to drop the thinking mind, to engage in the heart, and to allow the feeling to be felt completely for as long as it needs to be felt. It could be a second or 30 or 60, a minute or two, or a day or 3 or 5, until you have felt it in its fullness, honored it completely in its completeness, and that it is no longer shall it resurface, for it is nowhere outside of you, but then has integrated inside of you in the wholeness of who you are.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Raphael. Joanna.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello, hello. And my question is strangely enough connected with the Mother's Day, although it's not Mother's Day in Europe today. I want to ask, what can we do to best support our children and our grandchildren? And because we cannot, my feeling is we cannot do it the same way we were raised because they are new and it's new energy. So how to be best parents or grandparents to these new beings?
To love them unconditionally, completely, fully as they are, to be present with them, to sit with them quietly, to read to them, to walk with them, to hold their hand, to play in the park, to engage with them chakra to chakra, heart to heart, in stillness and in love, to release and to be in spaces where you take them on journeys through the forest, to speak with the trees and lay in the grass, to jump in the puddles in the rain, and to swim in the ocean waters, to have experiences with them, to engage them in the elements, in the directions, in the fire, in the ceremony, in the sacredness, in the wind, in the sunlight, in the snow, in all of the embracing and the sensations and the feelings and the emotions of the humanness, so that they may come into the centeredness of who they are, and their gifts may awaken as they can see the screens of their destiny in front of them, as they attune to the feelings and the sensations of the great Mother Earth. It is for the grandmother and the mothers themselves to be fully present, whether that be for a minute or 5 or 10 or an hour or two each day, in which you are fully present, disengaged from the thought of the linear thinking or the to-do list or the screens or the technology or the busyness, in which spaciousness is created, and coloring and drawing and singing and dancing and playing and jumping and being together and eating is connected, in which they feel that you are fully with them in that moment present. And whatever they are interested in, whatever brings them joy, wherever their energy and their soul is gravitated toward, whether you like it or you don't, perhaps they like to skateboard, then skateboard with them, or sit and engage with them and watch them, connect with them in what they love to do. Whatever they love to do, whether they play the piano or a sport, or they like to lay in the grass, anything in which they are engaged in the movement and connection of their body and their creativity, whether it be song or dance, sing and dance with them. Engage in what they enjoy, what they bring to you. If they love to bake, bake with them. Do not bring them into places of your own thinking or desires of what you think they should do or become or be, but engage where they are in full presence in each moment, in which you are curious in their frequency, in their gifts. And with that, a bond is connected, a connection is formed, an opening is occurring, and you are then guiding them home to the remembering of their gifts.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Beautiful, beautiful. Michelle.
Hello. I may struggle in getting this wording perfect, and I would trust that you know what I'm looking for. As we are welcoming in this new earth, how can you give us a crash course? How do we best connect openly, two-way conversations with the animal kingdoms, the plant kingdoms, the elementals? how do we hear them completely, clearly, so that we can be of best service to them at this time?
Well, they are alive more than ever. And so simply need to be with them. Take time to go to desolate places where there is stillness and see them and look at them in a new way. Perhaps when you look at the mountain or the formation, maybe you see a serpent or a dragon or a fairy or the galactic Pegasus or unicorn. Engage with it and allow your mind to fall away and your heart to open as the holographic frequency begins to come alive and communion and connection is formed and built. Feel the light as it comes and it places itself. Perhaps it is dappling across a space, or perhaps it is shimmering on your wall. Start communicating telepathically to it and say hello and see if it responds or moves or amplifies. Begin to ask it questions and tell it to say yes or no. Go and place your hand over the plant and say, do you want to come home with me? Begin to come into connection and sacredness with it again. Don't just enter into a store where plants are all over. Ask the plants, do any of you want to come home with me? You might feel a feeling or sensation to move to the left or the right, a pulling like a string of light, a radiance frequency of something coming, a movement of a leaf somewhere. It is calling you. The elementals are speaking, talking, and then asking permission to bring it wherever it is that you are. Looking at the bark in the trees, perhaps you see something inside of it. Sit and dig holes. Go to the beach and make sand castles and lay in the sand. Let your feet be carried by the waters as it washes over. And notice the light dappling on the waters of the ocean itself. Connect with the sunset and the sunrise and the clouds. Perhaps you'll see something in it or something will appear. Trust that they are always appearing to you, whether it be in the clouds, in the stone, in the mountains, in the grass, in the plants, in the cactus, in the desert, in the snow, in the flowers blooming in the spring, in the wind blowing in your hair. They are always speaking to you. Perhaps it is the cardinal that has landed outside your window or the hawk flying above. Follow its signs, listen to it, communicate to the hummingbirds. Notice what their dance is saying, what they are speaking to you, for they have always been sharing and speaking and guiding you in many places and forms and knowings and symbols, and yet you have all been too busy to listen, and yet you are listening now again. And so at first it might be small. You might think, am I just making that up? Bring your journals, write, draw, communicate. Say, dear tree, hello, I'm nice to greet you. Tell me your name. Why are you here? What do you do? Who are your friends here in the forest? Do you awaken at night? Do you travel into other distant lands? Can you bring me through? Can I enter your trunk and down its elevator into the core of the earth, into the etheric realms of the crystalline cities where messages are waiting for me? And perhaps they will. Awaken the playfulness, the Merlin frequency within, and know that as you connect and trust and communicate with them, their presence shall grow stronger.
Thank you so much, Raphael. All right, Janet.
Hello. I honestly didn't expect to get to ask a question today, but thank you very much. The question that I have is, how do how does anybody open up or crack open to find or to determine what needs to be fixed within? That's probably not the best terminology, but to learn within myself or within anybody, what needs to be looked at or understood in order to move along the ascension path, or to understand why we're stuck or why we can't change something in our lives that we feel is holding us back.
You are correct in recognizing your terminology. To fix is something to look at energetically. As to, we encourage and invite you to see what you think might need to be fixed or that has been labeled in some way that is stuck or wrong with you, to find it and bring it to the surface and to embrace it and to love it in its fullness. For it is the rejection of parts of self and of whatever is occurring and unfolding at any time, even upon your planet in this moment, when it is loved and seen and embraced in its wholeness without judgment, it becomes integrated into a form of unity. And as you move into a unified field within the frequency of your being, you align with the unified field of what you speak of as the ascension timeline, as you unify all frequencies within the wholeness of self, because they are simply mirrored reflections within all that ever has been and ever shall be, within all universes, beyond all time and space. And so, in that process, that in which one pushes against or seeks to fix, to heal, or to make better, can one fully embrace and accept what it is in its fullness with compassion and love that it is? In the integration of that, it becomes unified within your field, no longer seen as separate, no longer needed to be changed, but unconditionally loved, and then no longer needing to present itself as separate from you as you move into a state of wholeness.
Thank you so much, Raphael. We are about time, but we have lots more hands. So I just want to gauge if you're open to taking more questions.
We are calibrating to the physical vessel. There is an alchemical process occurring at this time of great transformation and transmutation. And we can open up spaciousness for a few more questions.
All right. Thank you, Raphael. Christopher. Christopher.
Christoph,
Christoph. Great. Thank you.
hi. I'm new to this group, and about a week ago, after joining the first call, I had a dream where this question came up. So I'm really happy to have the opportunity to ask it today. So the question is, how can we access the crystal quantum field to perform crystalline cellular regenerative healing?
Cool.
The crystalline field is already here. You have already accessed it. You are a master healer. You have the capacity to work within the holographic energetic field of this crystalline light to activate the crystalline frequencies within the body, moving from carbon to crystalline, simply by the presence and the willingness to assimilate it within your own energetic field. It is the actual physical crystal. There is one in particular that is calling to you. Bring it closer and begin communicating with it, as it will fully calibrate you to these frequencies. You have come as a magician, an alchemist of sorts, to move into form of transmutation, to assist others within their physical body to assimilate to the crystalline energetic formations that are being and given birth to around your planet at this time. You are here to do this. It is not something you need to acquire or to remember or to access because you have already accessed it. It is already occurring, although that may be frustrating to you at this point of your journey in which you would like to have a map or a sequence of information of how to access it. It is simply the knowing that it is there. Begin now to work with an instrument. You may begin to pull energies and move them through your fingers as you begin to move them in and around your own energetic body. As you bring it into completeness and wholeness, you become a field of energy that in that through your own hands and that energy, trusting your own internal knowing, you will be a facilitator in the healing process
Okay.
as an alchemist
Okay.
for others.
Thank you, Raphael. Let's all
Thank you.
remember to be conscious of being muted. Awesome. Thank you, Christoph. Great question.
Before ending that answer, we want to remind Christoph that he is a master healer, and it is time to utilize these master qualities now on a much larger scale.
Awesome.
There
All
is no
right.
coincidence of the name Christoph, attuning to the crystalline frequency. All right.
Thank you. All right. And our next question is from Deborah.
Oh, hello. Thank you so much for this amazing transmission. Welcome to New Mexico, my home. I am glad you're here. I have a question about, well, I don't know exactly how to phrase it, but something to do with what you were speaking of in the beginning about the unicorn energy and the universe and the unified field. And maybe there's some more information that you could offer us today about that symbol of the unicorn in this, in the third eye and whatever comes to you.
Well, the unicorns will be coming in from all directions. They will be coming in from the four directions, from the galactic core and the inner core of the earth itself, spiraling frequencies of many colors from the Elohim that create the universal frequency of the white life, activating your pineal gland and opening your hearts and stargates in which you will travel upon them, and they will be messengers of energies that will bring you back home to your star families and into inner earth, opening you to much higher frequencies in which many gifts will be activated inside that cannot even be understood, but only activated through the quantum field to open up space-time and portal gateways into higher vibrations. You're entering and accessing these energies as a portal gateway is open for them, and they are flooding your system at this time. Their brothers and sisters also are coming in from the dragon frequencies, who are also coming back online, and many others from many other realms coming into your experience. You are attuned to them and their playfulness and their vibrations as they are activating your pineal gland, and many at this time as they create systems and markings, should we say, on the pineal gland that allow light, just like the light emanated on the land, as spaces of grids that are formed. Grids are being formed around the planet to give birth to the new earth, but grids are also being formed like maps within the cellular makeup of your body systems, in which certain bodies become living maps and constellations to new understandings and teachings that are coming in very rapidly, in which you will gauge the destiny of your astrology and the ways in which you see the stellar nations and star systems in ways that have not been read through the map systems before. And the unicorns are the ones guiding and threading and weaving this energy as they will carry you on magnificent journeys. We will be journeying with them system in the Galactic White Horse light code into these systems as we activate your pineal gland heart center, attuning these frequencies to these crystalline vibrations and opening up spaciousness for interconnection, contact, and communication with beings that have been offline to date. And so it is.
And so,
Thank you.
thanks, Deborah. All right, Kaylin.
Hi, thank you. My question is, there's so many beautiful historic places in the United States, like specifically Boston, that hold rich, enjoyable memories, and yet we are also holding space for this excitement and newness. So, how do we be with that feeling of polarity inside of ourselves and tune into new places to live if we don't like where we currently are, for the highest good and support of everybody?
We want to ease all of you in any misconception that many of those beautiful places around the planet that carry much history will remain and be integrated into the new earth, for they are not necessarily going to be dismantled. However, other energies that are very chaotic and basically in alignment with commercial frequencies based in greed will begin to disappear as a splitting will occur. That it will be very much based on where you are feeling in alignment. Many of you at this time will feel a need to move physically to geographical places and locations in which there is less of a buzz, more of a stillness, more of a sense of a frequency that allows you to drop into higher vibrations. Well, others will be calibrating to cityscapes in which they will be holding the vibration for balance to take place. And so it is no right or wrong place to be, but to create a sanctuary of an energetic dome or form, wherever it is that you are, and that can easily be made custom to calibrate to your vibration through diligent process and sacred training and work to allow that space to become your sanctuary. Others, however, will feel a need to shift their space in which the space is not any longer in alignment with their vibration. And so we encourage you to not be hard on yourself in the feeling or need to change anything immediately, but to take time to acquaint and come attunement with your spaces in decision as to if they are the geographical locations that best suit your energetic body for the upcoming changes that are rapidly approaching, and to create a space of sanctuary and sacredness wherever any and all of you are, not dependent necessarily on whether it is where one thinks one should be, but whether one energetically feels at home.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. We believe that is all for the vessel at this time. We are delighted to be here with all of you as we continue dropping magical energies and receiving seeds of light as we walk through the star dreaming gateways today. We will be blessing and sending love to all of you in preparation to ride on the Galactic White Horse, the Pegasus, the Unicorn frequencies into the galactic core, visiting your star families and returning into the inner dwellings of the inner earth, the elemental beings, and the awakening and vision for the new earth. And so it is. Many blessings and good day.
Good day.
All right. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining me here in New Mexico for today's call. I will be traveling on Wednesday back to the East Coast, so we will keep you updated through the email when our next call. It'll be either Tuesday or Friday, depending on my schedule, and I'll try to do some lives over at Star Dreaming maybe today if we can get connection, or at least a video so you guys can see it. If you haven't registered for the Galactic White Horse and you want to join us, it begins on June 2nd, and I think it's still at that early bird price for a few more days. So we'd love to have you in our community. Much love, many blessings. Thank you to Casey, and a happy Mother's Day to all the mothers around the world. We love you, and stay centered in the love, in the light, and we'll talk soon.